obviously taken over now. You're going to be the face of this massively successful franchise. Do you feel the pressure is on you to kind of fill in the shoes of Liam Neeson in that kind of regard?
I've got big feet.
Yeah.
No. In all seriousness, I was really daunted when I took on the role, but I've realised now that I'm not making the same Brian Mills as he played. He plays Brian Mills in his early 60s. He's a grizzled veteran of the CIA. He's lonely. He's moved away from. He's moved back to Los Angeles to be close to his daughter. That's a different Brian Mills. I'm playing a Brian Mills who's 35 years old, and he definitely has some skills. He's an ex-Green Beret, right, but they're not particular yet. He hasn't found. He's not comfortable in his own skin. Right. This is a character that's going to trip, stumble, fall down, and we're going to have to sometimes drag him back on his feet and push him through that door because he doesn't really, he hasn't got that. He's got forward momentum. That's right. His skill. He has an ability to think outside the box and keep going forward. Has he got a plan formulated in his head? No, and that's what makes him exciting to watch. I think on a TV show, that's the only way forward. I think we want to see him learn from his mistakes. We want to be in there with him and see how far he travels in the season. If he's got all the answers straight off the bat, then it gets very boring very quickly.
Right. And so this is obviously very action-oriented. Obviously, I mean, your Mr. Charles, your colleague, said he sees it as 1 hour action movies. I was wondering, did you have to prepare in any way? Did you train with Green Berets or ex-CIA operatives, Black Ops? All those fun buzzwords.
I worked with two special forces guys who took 2 weeks just from waking up at 5 in the morning to working right till 7 or 8 at night, just getting me to reload mags into guns like repetitively until it becomes second nature, clearing rooms. But then I bring a lot of the experience of the martial arts before. I used to be a Muay Thai boxer from the age of 13 to 18, and I've been doing stunts since I was 12. So I may not have done much weaponry work, but I've been tumbling. I know how to fall and things, and so I'm trying to do that myself because I think in a TV show, when it's not got the budget of a £100 million action movie, what we can add, or what I can add to the drama is to continue the story being told. If you've got 47 minutes, then you want to see the actor's face in those action moments. Otherwise, they just become car chases and explosions. You need to keep driving this character and this story onwards. And if the director can put the camera on my face when I'm getting hit by a car, and when I get back up and you start to see Brian's frustration and pain and his blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, then you start being in the action with him. And I think that was the strength of the film.
Absolutely. Last question. I had to ask, you're from Hollywood. I said, is there any reason that may have, it sounded like Hollywood? It's the cheesy question. Is that somehow maybe have driven you being like, one day I'm going to be at Hollywood instead? Well, I'll add the extra L.
Well, the Hollywood in Northern Ireland, I grew up on an army base. It's pretty much just an army base. But it's funny you said that because I think when Rory McIlroy, the golfer, comes from Hollywood, Northern Ireland, so does Jamie Dornan. So they're slowly getting their little kind of like this tiny little town, so they're getting their fair share of.
Do you get a lot of? Do you return back and get a lot of hey, there's the local hero that.
No, like I said, it's an army base, so you pretty much kind of go back to where you were born, and then kind of get people putting rifles in your face, telling you if you've got a pass to be on the premises.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So finally, Taken,
man.
Right now, it's a TV show.
Come on now. We did the pilot about a year ago. So,
wow, really?
Yeah,
so you've been waiting
almost a year to have it air.
And you're telling your family hold on, I'm part of it.
You
thought Liam Neeson.
So it's good.
Yeah. So what got you into the project? I mean, I know you've had already a huge success on TV already, but what got you interested in this project?
Really, when I saw that they were making this, my first reaction was, okay, they're making a show. All right, let's check it out. But after I met Alex Carey, who's our showrunner, Alex Graves, so many of the folks involved, and just saw what they wanted to do, so passionate about it, and it's such a blessing to be a part of the show.
So you've also been. Can you tell us a little bit more about your character?
Sure.
Yeah. So John, and his relationship with
Sure.
Brian.
Yeah. So I know from the pilot, some people are like, "Oh, is John a good guy? Is he a bad guy?"
Exactly.
John, in the conventional sense, John is a good guy, but he's not afraid to be a little rough when the job calls for it. So we get to kind of see his character develop in the next episode. We get to see him take Brian through the Black Ops training. So John is basically the leader of the Black Ops team, the covert action team, and we get to kind of see him try to help Brian get into the team and integrate, but also watch Brian deal with some of the challenges he has still dealing with Callie's death and the struggle of the trauma that he has.
Yeah, that was quite a kickoff to the series.
Yeah. And that scene was actually, we shot that scene last, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool how it all came together and just how they just put it together so beautifully.
And so obviously this is an extremely like I heard you say earlier, you see this as almost like 1 hour action movies.
Totally, yeah.
So did you prepare physically for this role in any way?
Yeah, hit the gym.
I mean, you're already pretty.
I mean,
yeah,
hit
I gotta
the gym,
say,
you know what I'm saying? Try to, but then also it was really cool because they brought in a special ops guy to kind of help us get the feel, the mentality for what those guys go through, and I thought that was really helpful.
Oh, okay. My last question: you've been having a really careening career now on TV. I said that earlier. But I was wondering, do you see yourself transitioning more and more into film now that your name is really getting out there? Your time on Homeland, now Taken, huge franchise.
Appreciate it, man. Well, it's been a blessing, and I would certainly like to do that. When you get opportunities to do great things, you want to make the most of them, and so that would certainly be great.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it for your time. Thank you. I read that you got into all these Ivy Leagues when you were a kid, and then you ended up settling on Vanderbilt.
Yes,
a little bit
not
more.
settling.
Well, sorry, wrong word. Yeah,
Choosing.
It's true. It's true.
No, I'm
but
kidding.
then the point is that you did eventually leave, and
Yes.
you decided to pursue acting full time.
Yes.
What drove you to that decision?
I was a little bit of a bookworm in high school, and I applied to the Browns and Dukes and Georgetowns of the world, and I ended up going to Vanderbilt because it was close to where I was my home. I was in Nashville, went to high school. My sister was still she was like a year younger than me, so I wanted to stay close to home. But I think I ultimately decided I know how to get an A on a paper, and it wasn't really giving me what I needed at that moment, and I just was like, I'm going to take a break. Let's take a break and live a little bit of life and see what I really want to put all my energy and passion towards. And I went and studied at Lee Strasberg Theater Institute through NYU program for a little while, and then I was like, I think I'm just gonna jump and do this. So yeah, I think at a certain point you just have to make calculated risks, but at some point you just gotta jump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is obviously a very action-oriented TV show. I was wondering, how did you prepare for that role?
So my character Asha is an environmental lawyer, so she doesn't really see as much action as the rest of the team. However, there definitely was stunts and fight scenes and things that I did get to eventually be a part of. So I think it's just one of those things where you just have to keep stamina and get sleep and take care of yourself. And we were shooting in Toronto, so I didn't have a car, and so I walked everywhere.
Wow.
And you'd be amazed at how fit walking gets you.
Well,
So
we're
you
New
don't have,
Yorkers, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You don't have to train for hours in the gym. You can just walk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just try to be smart about it.
Oh, that's great. So, is there any kind of takeaways from your character that you'd want audiences to know before we the series really kicks off?
Yeah, I think Asha is, she's a strong, driven young woman who is a truth seeker. And I think in her linking up with the Brian Mills character and finding him, she's really dealing with some really tough things and grief. And, I don't think on television people really discuss or flesh that out. So it was really interesting to me to play a character that had just experienced this tragedy and how you deal with that and how you find connection with somebody else that is also going through that. So, hopefully that can help somebody or be interesting to somebody.
I think it definitely will be. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
the
Thanks
casting.
so
Thank you
much.
so
I
much for taking the time
appreciate it.
out.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.